Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this plan with me, I am planning with the Starlight Paper Studio kit called Reverie. It's in gold foil, I think it's the regular gold, and it's definitely a celestial, like night sky themed kit. It's got yellow, navy blue, and a light blue are sort of the primary colors. I love the washi here. It's like a night sky kind of washi, but the yellows are really striking. And this is a little deco sheet. So yeah, let's get into it. Um, you know, I am an uneven YouTube uploader. I will just say that. The main sticking point, as I always say, is really the editing and voiceover. It's like I'll film for 2 hours. It takes me like an hour, hour and a half to edit, and then the voiceover is usually 15 minutes. I've got to mix with any other audio that I have if I'm laying music underneath. So, everyone is familiar with how much time this takes, and some weeks, most weeks, it's hard to fit everything in. Working out, resting, working, making time for friends, other social commitments, hang out with my partner, his family, so I'm going to do the best that I can, which is, I guess, what we're all out here doing in one way or another. So, so thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for being here and watching. I always appreciate people engaging with anything that I have to put out there. I think it's an incredible privilege, so thank you if you're here. What have I been doing lately? Reading a lot. So, one of the people I work with has started a book club on our team, and that has honestly led to me reading so many more books. It's been like a forcing function for me to read. I think even it's encouraged me to sort of read outside of the book club books that we have had, because I'm just like in a reading groove and I start reading a ton. So this year, we're in April, I think I've already read 4 or 5 books. Because we've had a book for each month of the book club, and then I've read definitely 1 or 2 other books outside of that. So I am reading a book right now. I know I'm very late. Everyone's going to tell me how late I am. But I'm reading this book called The Fourth Wing. And so I can already hear everybody going, oh my gosh, you're so late. Yes, I know. The reason I'm reading this is that this person I work with started the book club read it. Another person on my team had read it, and so the kind of gossip around the book was that it was very not safe for work. And I was like, what? And people seem to react sort of mixed in the not safe for workness, and they're like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And then other people seem really casual and chill with it. So honestly, curiosity got the better of me. And I was like, I really need to see what's up in this book. Like, what is going on with this book? And I am almost done with it. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. And yeah, it's a thirsty book. It's thirsty. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a romance novel that has some like fantasy elements to it, but it definitely feels more romancy than fantasy. Like, the fantasy is ancillary and secondary to the romance part. The main character, is very thirsty. P.S. Spoiler alerts for Fourth Wing. So, I'm going to keep it very general, but just in case you know nothing about it, I would say stop here, and I will probably be done in about a minute or 2. But, yeah, I was just like, okay, I mean, I get it, I guess. Like, we've all been there. It didn't seem, weird to me. The thing that was weird to me about this book was that I assumed, honestly, if there are dragons, that everyone's, going to be talking like it's medieval times. Now, perhaps Game of Thrones has spoiled me for this. Although, now that I think about it, was that really all that medieval? I mean, yes. They spoke in a lot of these and thous and doths and stuff. So I'm expecting, that sort of language. And the language is very anachronistic. They're doing, 2024 swears. So I'm a little bit it just takes me out of the story a little bit. But I am rolling with it, and I just want to know what happens. I'm engaged at this point. So I'm like, yeah, I suspect it's going to get probably a little more dirty. Like, there's definitely a buildup where I'm like, okay, I see what y'all are going for. I see what we're driving towards. So I'm waiting to see if that pans out or not. But, I'm enjoying it. I love a bit of fantasy. Why not? And I like science fiction or fantasy that doesn't take itself too seriously. And I feel like there's so much humor in this book that it's great. That it doesn't take itself too seriously. And so I can deal with some of the, F-bombs and all that other stuff. It's amazing to me, too, just personally. I think because I've encountered a lot of these books through work, or because it's like people who work for me will recommend it, that like this air of being mildly scandalized, like I'm more scandalized by reading a book that someone has recommended to me at work that has like swearing in it than I think I otherwise would be. But I am like thinking back to what I've read previously, and a lot of it was actually more on the self-help side and not on the fiction side. So there's not a lot of like swearing in those per se. So I do find myself sometimes going like, whoa. This month's book club book is a book called Quality Land. And it's, about this like, it's I guess it's science fiction. It's this future in which, it's like I'm trying to think of how to describe it without giving it away, but it's a technological future where the focus is on optimization, on like streamlining everything. You pay for stuff electronically. Everything's done electronically. So it's like a dystopian future. But honestly, it really reads to me like a 17-year-old, like an edgy teen wrote it. I'm about halfway through, and I'm really not, I don't know that I'm enjoying it. Again, I'm reading it for book club at work. But so I feel like I have to continue and finish it just for the sake of like, I'm one of those people when I join a book club, I can't not read the book. I just feel dishonest. There has been one that I struggled to finish, and I switched to an audiobook, and truthfully that was so I could get through it faster because I was just struggling to read that. That one was called The Creative Circle by Rick Rubin, and it was just like, the audiobook was actually a huge mistake because between each chapter he would like do this hand gong, so it was like this chime where it was like dong, and it just drove me nuts. So that was not great. But yeah, this one, I don't think I could have listened to Quality Land as an audiobook, again, because there's like a lot of random filth, for lack of a better term. There's a lot of dirty stuff in there, but like it comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, whoa, what are you doing? So for Fourth Wing, I'm like expecting it. Like again, they're building up to the naughty bits because, like I said, it's a very thirsty book. But this Quality Land is just like, whoa, why would you say that? So yeah, I'm not going to go into more depth there just because I don't want to have to edit anything out. But yeah, it's intense. So I read that. We read this book. So we read Call of Cthulhu. Wow, it's been going on for we read Call of Cthulhu last year. That's where we started. And then we've been reading like one book a month since then. We read this book called The Pineapple Lies. It was recommended under Call of Cthulhu, and it was like a mystery. So yeah, it was really, it's been really fun to like get together once a month and discuss books. We recently read Yellowface. My sister recommended that. And it was so funny. But, so I am reading this book, and I'm reading it on my phone. So I'm doing the notes, like just highlighting and adding notes. And most of my notes are just like, oh my gosh. It was fun in that you're just sitting there like, wow. You're supposed to really, I think, hate the protagonist. So that one I would recommend. Yellowface I would definitely recommend. Call of Cthulhu if you don't mind gothic literature by H.P. Lovecraft. It's a little scary. And definitely not recommending Quality Land at this point, but perhaps when I get to the end, I might change my mind. I would recommend Fourth Wing if you don't mind a little spiciness in your books with regarding like intimate scenes. But again, it doesn't feel like filth. It's not smut. Whereas Quality Land is getting on the smut side. So I'm going to read the second in the fourth wing series. It's called Iron Flame. I know the whole thing's called the Empyrean. So the third book is supposed to come out next year, January, and I definitely want to be done by then. I mean, I don't think we're in danger of that. But yeah, so that's what I've been reading. We're also watching this show on Netflix right now called The Gentleman. And the main star of that is this guy named Theo James. He is so good looking. Whew, he's so handsome. I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's actually, I think, a really fun and a fresh feeling show, but it's directed by Guy Ritchie, and if you've watched anything from Guy Ritchie before, it has his like fingerprints all over it. Like, this is Guy Ritchie to the max. You know, somebody's stealing something. There's a lot of Cockney accents. There's a boxing gym. Like, if you watch any Guy Ritchie movies, like, these are key critical elements of everything he does. So it's very Guy Ritchie, like, coded, which is, you know, because he wrote it, but, and is directing and producing it. But it feels fun. It's engaging. You know, I'm enjoying it. It's frustrating. It has its frustrating characters. And sometimes I have trouble watching shows where the characters are, like, keep doing dumb stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is aggravating. But there's other sort of aspects to it that keep it interesting, so it's easy to kind of get over the frustration. So The Gentleman is really good. I am watching my way through the new Abbott Elementary episodes, which are so fun. There was one they did recently about, like, the teachers being on, I don't want to say drugs, but, like, drugs/illicit substances. They talk about Janine smoking weed, and she passes a student in the hallway and goes, "Hi," and he goes, "I bet you are," and I, like, spit out my drink. It was so funny. I love that show. I think it's so cute, and just, like, the humor is really wholesome. They managed to sneak in the sly stuff here and there, but overall the humor is really wholesome, which I enjoy. You know, I don't know, I like things where it's just like, I wouldn't call myself a prude, but, like, if we don't have to be vulgar, let's not. Like, why not? You know, I don't know. Again, I'm getting maybe I'm getting a little prudish in my old age. Well, I'm only mid-30s, but, like, I don't know. I like wholesome humor. It's cute. It's adorable. There's plenty of cussing in The Gentleman. Like, don't get me wrong there, but it's nice to have a balance. Anyway, this is the spread from Starlight Paper Studio. It was really fun to do. Check out the tags, and I think I'll be putting up a reel of this on Instagram, and I will see you all next time. Bye!